Good afternoon, the Melbourne Electorate Office.
I realise you're a busy office there, Daniel Andrews. Obviously, I can't speak to him. Can I get you to pass on a message to him?
Yes. Yep. Whereabouts are you calling from? Are you from the local electorate or?
I'm in Melbourne, but not in the electorate.
Okay. If it's just for me to pass on something, I'm happy to do that. But if you want answers, then I would say ring the Premier's office. I'm happy to pass on a message for you.
Okay, it's just I don't really probably need answers, but basically, I'm a concerned Melbourne citizen. As you know, Daniel makes a press conference every morning. Probably just finished one now, has he?
Yeah.
Not sure. Haven't
He's
checked
still going.
it.
He's still going.
Still going. That seems to be
Yeah.
that seems to be his job these days. Him and the other two people. What I'm concerned about is I'm going on yesterday. 15 people died, and they're all from aged care homes. And I'm looking at the chart of the Department of Health of Australian government, and I'm looking at the cases in aged care services. And I'm looking there. There's 282 people have died in aged care homes. And we're looking at a total of 415 in Victoria itself. So that's 70% of people in aged care homes. And that's all we hear every morning. Every morning it keeps coming up with the same figure, 70-year-old. And if you look at the cases by age and sex, it's virtually everyone in 70s, 80s and 90s and even 100s. No one under 50 dying. Please let me finish. Please let me finish. So 70% of the population is from aged care homes. Well, there is one question I can ask. How does this bug just seem to find its way all of a sudden in the second wave into aged care homes when these old people are just laying inside beds? They're not community, they're not socialising with community. There's no community interaction. People aren't even allowed to see them. They don't go from bed to bed. They don't make contact with people in the aged care homes. But all of a sudden, every nursing home in Melbourne's been affected by it. So that's the big question I ask. But the one I look at is there's 36 people supposedly have a term recovered. I'm not too sure how that happens, but anyway, as a percentage, that's like 1 in 8. 1 in 8 recover. So right at the moment, we've got 1,682 people that have tested positive, are classed as cases. So as you know, in nursing homes, when you go there, that's that's where you die. You don't virtually come out of there. So 1,682 people who are tested positive. I'm going to use, 7 out of 8 of them are going to die because that's the rate we've got here. So that's 1,400 people are going to die from nursing care homes in the next days, weeks, even up to a month. So Daniel Andrews is going to use 1,400. We know for a fact by just looking at this, 1,400 deaths from aged care homes in the coming days and weeks. So the fear factor is going to be there again. Every morning he's going to come up with the same stuff, like a broken record, with these aged care people, 10, 15, whatever. People die every day in nursing homes in Victoria, in Melbourne, and even across Australia. So he's just using the people that are in nursing homes, because it's a fact that coronavirus is in virtually every single person, especially the old people with bad immune systems and, underlying health conditions. So, and the other question I want to, not a question, I just want to pass it. It's only Victorian nursing homes that seem to suffer from this, which seems a strange coincidence that the nursing homes throughout Australia aren't having the bug flying there and causing all this chaos amongst the old age. It doesn't seem right. I mean, the bug doesn't just seem to be in Victoria. It's just, why is it just solely in Victoria? Yeah, go on. Sorry, I've gone on.
No. Did you know that the aged care problem was initially in New South Wales? They had that problem as well.
Well, it's
and
not.
Did you know that the aged care homes are run by the federal government, and the reason why they think that they've shown the epidemiology as to why the people were getting it was because they were sharing staff between home?
No, that doesn't happen. In a pandemic, there's no cross referencing. You know what I mean? People don't go swapping over.
I suggest you speak to your local federal member and discuss that, because that wasn't what's happening at the beginning.
you're telling me that was caused by all these people? Sorry, I know people that work in aged care homes, and they work in the one home, and when there's a pandemic like this, they are not allowed to go working at other homes. So that is a feeble excuse. That is feeble.
I know people that were doing different homes.
So they just happened to be carriers, were they? The few people, they just happened to be the carriers that spread it to 20, 30 nursing homes.
I don't want to get into an argument. I'm happy to pass on your concerns to the Premier.
You won't pass it on. You won't pass it on.
I will pass it on.
You will you? You think he'll take notice of this? He's going to read out the same figures every day, forever and ever, and keep us in lockdown, destroying people's lives. 85% of people are over 85. Let the general community get on with their lives, and let's concentrate on the aged care. ScoMo said in February 26 that on that day they were going to control the aged care. 6 months later, what have they done? The nursing homes are still running as per normal. There's a nursing home I know in part of Melbourne. There's 30 beds and there's 144 cases. How do you explain that? And that is still running. That is still running like normal. How can you have 144 cases in the 30-bed nursing home and still run like normal? No. You will pass it on. You have a nice day.
You have phoned the Office of the Premier of Victoria. Please note that this call may be recorded for quality and training purposes. Thank you. If you suspect you may have the coronavirus disease, otherwise known as COVID-19, please hang up now and call the Victorian Government Coronavirus Hotline.
Good afternoon, Office of the Premier. How can I direct your call?
Oh, good afternoon. It was a long wait. Obviously busy there. Look, I'd like you to pass on. Obviously, Mr. Andrews is busy and he probably wouldn't talk to anyone on the phone anyway. Can you possibly pass on a message to him? Or
I can pass on a brief message, of course.
Yeah, okay. Just before I do, as I've been waiting on the phone here, the what do you call it? The message that you have, it's misleading. The woman's saying that if you've got a coronavirus disease, and did you know coronavirus isn't a disease and no viruses are diseases? Why are you actually saying coronavirus disease? That's basic medicine and health that, we've studied, at school, that a virus is something that's a reaction to a disease and not a disease. So why in your call, in that message there, are you mentioning it as a disease?
I'm not. I'm. All I can do here, reception, is to.
Oh, you're a reception. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if you've got medical questions,
yeah.
If you need to liaise with a medical advisor, medical practitioner, an expert in the field, you can put that request through in writing.
In writing? No, I'd rather just make calls. But it's pretty basic. I mean, I don't have to. I'd be embarrassed to write a letter to someone to explain that coronavirus isn't a disease. But anyway, go to the message I'd like you to pass on to Mr. Andrews. As you know, he seems to, all his life seems to be to make these press conferences every lunchtime, every day, and give us an update on coronavirus. And to be honest, we're absolutely sick of it. We don't want to hear cases, because if it's a pandemic, it's all about deaths. No one ever talks about cases in a pandemic. So the question is it really a pandemic if all he talks about is cases? And the other thing, does he realise that 150 people a day die in Victoria and all he talks about is COVID cases and commiserations to the families of COVID people? What about my neighbour who died from cancer last week? How about he give us a heartfelt commiseration for him? Why are they ignored? Why is it all about COVID? 150 people a day, and all he wants to talk about is the COVID deaths, a handful of deaths.
All right. I can pass your comments along for you
if
you wish.
Yeah,
okay.
I'd love you to,
Right.
but I doubt you will, because he won't take notice of my message, because it's all a scam. The whole thing's a scam, and that guy's a criminal. Goodbye.